right, today's lesson we're going to be working with volume. Just to review on area, can anybody tell me how to find area? Length times width. Very good. So if we went out on the playground, we've talked about this. If we went out on the playground and when we have to walk the fence, what is that finding? The perimeter, because we're going around the outside of the playground. I need eyes on me, please. We're going around the outside of the playground. Well, if we wanted to know, say I was going to bring in a load of gravel, and I needed to know how many loads of gravel to cover up the entire playground, what would I find? Area. Very good. Well, today we're going to talk about volume. If we could come back and put a lid on the playground, okay? Put a big lid on the playground. We could find the volume of that playground. Because volume deals with capacity. Okay, let's take a look at this first sheet. It says volume is the measure of the amount of space in a 3D object. What does 3D mean?
It's 3D is like when you can like. I am a 3D person.
Okay, how about if it's laying flat on a piece of paper and you can't see but just the front, is that 3D?
That's 2D.
Right, but if I take a cube and hold up a cube and I can see the top, the bottom, the sides, and turn it, that's going to be your 3D. That's your 3D figures. Let's take a look at this one. Volume is measured in cubic units. Remember, we put right here beside cubic, put you a little 3, just like that. All right, we can do inches, cubic inches. We can do cubic centimeters. We can do cubic meters. We can do cubic kilometers or kilometers, however you want to say it. All right. And so every time we have the exponent up there of 3, right? Well, we talked about when we did area. Can anybody tell me what we find area in? Squared. Very good, because how many things do we multiply when we find area?
2.
Remember that, we find 2. Well, see, we're putting a 3 here. How many things are we going to multiply to find volume?
3.
3 things. Very good. And it shows us right here, if you look on your paper. It says, y'all's paper, y'all can see it better. I cut one side of mine off. It says length times width times height. So we have length times width times height. Okay? So we have length times width times height. That's how we find our volume of a figure. Okay? So let's look on this one. Sometimes, and we did a couple, I think, like this last week, sometimes they will not give you the measurements. You have to find the measurements. There's 2 different ways that you could do this. You could count all the cubes on here. Counting gets old to me. So what you could do here, let's just count let's get our length first. We've got 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 long, okay? Now, let's count the width. 1, 2, 2, 3. How wide was it?
3 inches.
It was 3 cubes, because we don't know how big these cubes are. And then how tall? 1, 2, 3. Very good. So how we're going to find this answer? We're going to say 3 times 3 times 3. What is 3 times 3?
9.
Times 3.
27.
So our answer is going to equal,
But you have to put that.
hold on, we're going to say 27 cubic, the word cubic, because we don't know what units. We do not know the unit that is being measured here. These cubes could be inches. They could be centimeters. They could be millimeters. They could be yards. We don't know. So, but we do know that they're cubic units, okay? They are cubic units. All right, now let's take a look at the next one. You could go back and count all these and tell there are 27 there. But that would take a while, right? So I like doing, just knowing my formula, that length times width times height is the volume. So let's take a look at this next one. At your tables, really quickly, I want you to find all three measurements. Don't multiply yet, just find your three measurements. Okay, let's look together. Let's find our length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've got 5 here. Who got 5 there? Excellent. Okay, now I'm going to change my color. Let's do our height. I'm sorry, let's do our width. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 here. Now let's do our height. 1, 2. How tall is it? 2. Very good. Now, are we ready to multiply?
Yes.
Yes, let's multiply. What is 5 times 2?
10.
Times 3?
30.
So we've got 5 times 2 times 3 equals 30 cubic units. Just like that. My stylus didn't work. Okay, now let's just count the top rows. Let's just count our I'm going to do a different color, and we're going to count all these blocks together. Okay, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, come on, let's pick it up a little bit. I know our brain's still on spring break mode, but we got to get with it. Okay, here we go. Start over. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15. Well, that's the top row. Well, if I know there's 15 in the top section, what's going to be in the bottom section? 15.
15. So it's going to be 30 cubes. Is that what we found here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next one. Here we go. All right. So first, let's find our length. 1, 2, 3. We have 3. All right, let's find our width. How many do we have?
2.
1, 2. Excellent. Now, let's find our height. 1, 2, 3. All right. So what do I simply need to do here? Multiply. 3 times 3 times 2. What's 3 times 3?
9.
Times 2?
18.
But what kind of units are they?
Cubic units.
Cubic units.
You don't know whether the inches and meters.
Very good. You don't know what they are. Okay, right quick, I want you to do this last one by yourself and then check with your table. Okay, so let's take a look. What is our length right here? 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 4 here. So then we have how many here? 1, 2. And how tall is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I'm going to say 4 times 4 times 2. Who agrees with me? What's 4 times 4?
16.
Times 2?
32.
32 what?
Cubic
units. Who got 32 cubic units? Excellent. Okay, now let's go ahead and go to the next page on your on your little book for me. All right, so we're going to look at how to find the volume of irregular prisms. What does the word irregular mean?
It's
It's not regular. Okay, to be a regular polygon or a prism, it's going to make a shape like it's a regular polygon. All sides are equal and closed. Okay. Well, this a regular prism, same thing. It's able. You can find the volume by using a formula. Well, these you cannot find the volume like they are right now using a formula. So you're going to have to count. Okay. That's how we're going to do these today. We're going to count. Now, we will get to, here in a couple days, where we'll find the volume of irregular prisms using formulas. But we'll have to cut those up and all that. So that's coming. But today, how we're going to do this is we're simply going to count our boxes. We're going to count those cubes. So let's take a look at number 1. Let's count these cubes together, okay? We've got 1, 2. Hold on, let me get my color. Hold on. Whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in the front. Well, what's behind it? Another section, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because you can't see them all, but there's 5 in the back. So we know that this volume is going to be 10 cubic units. All we did was counted our blocks.
How come it wouldn't be 2, 3, 4? How come it wouldn't be 6? Because there's two on the top. There's 1, 2, and then there's another set. There's 4 other ones, which is 4. So how come it wouldn't be 6?
Okay. The reason it wouldn't. Okay, let's take a look at this. Good question. All right. You have 1 here. You have 1 behind. Whoop. You have 1 here at the front, right? Everybody see that one? Mm-hmm. You have 1 here. And let me tell you what. I'm going to put it on highlighter. We have 1 here. So there's 1. Here's another block. 2, 3 blocks. Okay? Well, I know that if I have 3 blocks in the front, I have 3 blocks behind those. Okay? Even though you can't see them, they're there. So here's 4. Then there's 2 more underneath it. 5, 6. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 on the back plus the 4 in the front equals 10. Do you see how I got those?
I thought you were talking about just the back.
No, we're talking about all of them. We're counting them all together. So do you see how I got those? All right, guys, so let's take a look at the next one, okay? All we're doing is counting boxes again. We're counting cubes. Here we go. Let's count across that one's kind of, I've got a glare. Let me look at y'all's. All right, here we go. We have 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? Does everybody see where I got all 8 of those? Okay, so it's 8 cubic units. Okay, now, this next one's a little trickier, so I want us to work it together. You're going to get to do lots of these by yourself in just a minute. But I want us to work this together. Okay? Here we go. So let's just start with what we can see. Let's just count these across the top, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Well, we see 6 so far. Well, these are up on a platform. So we know that if there's 6 on the top, what's underneath it? 6 more. So then we have, let's do 6 plus 6. Everybody see where I'm getting those 6? All right. Now, we've counted this one already because it's underneath that one. So here we go. Let's go. The ones that we can see on the front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 plus 6 plus 6, which 6 times 3 is what? 18. Okay? Because there's 18 cubic units there. Okay, I want y'all to do number 4. Check with your table when you're done to see if everybody's got it. All right, so let's take a look at this one. Let's count. Everybody with me? Here we go. We can see 1, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know in the front, there's 4, right? Is everybody with me? Do you agree with me? Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so we have 4 right here. All right, now, well, that front row right here is shoved out front. You know, I told you just a second ago, if I'm standing up in the air, I'm not levitating. I wish I had that power that I could just float up in the air and just hang around when I wanted to, but you know, I can't. So if I'm standing, if I'm looking like I'm 8 feet tall, there's something underneath me, right? Same thing here. We can tell there's something behind this 4 blocks, okay? So we have, let's look right here. We know we've got 1, 2 here. So if I've got 2 here, how many do I know is back here? 2. The reason it's not 4 is it's not as tall, but all together, it's 4. So what's 4 plus 4?
8.
Who got 8? Raise your hand. Y'all are so smart. Awesome, awesome sauce. Okay, 8 cubic units. All right, now, in front of you, you have another sheet. We're actually going to use the formula. And I know in front of you right now, I tell you what, yeah, go ahead. Well, you've got a sheet in front of you. We're going to work it together, and then you're going to go back to your little foldable and finish the next page. But in front of you is a sheet, and it is on volume. Why I'm getting a picture of it is 4 questions. I want you to go ahead and answer those 4 questions while I'm taking a picture, okay? All right, let's take a look at this first rectangular prism here on the top. Okay, so it's giving us our numbers. This one is really going to be simple because it's telling us it's our length, our width, and our height. So we have, and I'll tell you what I do sometimes when I'm working these. For my, I go in and I always make sure that I write volume equals length times width times height. Okay? I make sure that's up there. And then sometimes I'll even use the rectangular prism as my working space. So I'm going to say 5 times 6 times 7. The reason I did 5 times 6 first, because it is multiplication and it's commutative, but the reason I did 5 times 6 is because I know it's going to end in a 0. Because 5 times 6 is what? 30. Very good. And then easily I can say 30 times 7. What's 7 times 3?
21.
21, and then I just drop that 0. Well, it is telling me what type of unit of measurement we're using. We're using centimeters. So that's going to be cubic centimeters. So it's 210 cubic centimeters. Who got 210 cubic centimeters? Give yourself a whoop whoop. That was the saddest whoop whoop I've ever heard. Let's try that again. Give yourself a whoop whoop. Much better. Okay, here we go. So we have on the top, again, volume. I want you to rewrite it every time. Because the more you rewrite it, the more it's going to stick in your brain. You're going to know that formula just like that. Just like you know the area formula now. You're going to know the volume formula just like that. We have length times width times height. All right. So we've got, I'm just going to say 4 times 2 times 3. What's 4 times 2?
8.
Times 3?
24.
24 cubic meters. No, it's measuring in meters here. It's not measuring centimeters, it's meters. So, who got that one? Raise your hand. Perfect. All right. Well, y'all are tearing volume up. All right, so let's put 24 cubic meters. Very good. All right, so now let's take a look at this one. And right now, these numbers are small. Sometimes you have to multiply with larger numbers. Sometimes they're smaller numbers. You know, like we've said many times. And here, what do we do first? Do we run, climb, or crawl?
Crawl.
We crawl. Well, we crawled by counting. Now we're walking. And here in a minute, we're going to run. Okay, what's 3? Let's see. What's my formula?
3 times
Volume equals length.
times width times height.
Sorry, y'all, I've got to clean my laptop, my iPad. Madison Clint's had it. All right, what is 3 times? So let's just put them up. We're going to say 3 times 2 times 5. What's 3 times 2?
6
Times 5?
30.
30 cubic inches. Who got 30 cubic inches? Give yourself a whoop, whoop. Y'all are sad this morning. Your brains are still on spring break mode. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. We've got 3. What is our formula? Volume equals
Length times width times height.
excellent. Okay, so we've got, what do we want to multiply? We want to multiply 3 times 4? That's an easy one.
3 times 7.
Let's do 3 times 4. It's okay if you did 3 times 7 because multiplication is what property?
It's commutative.
Commutative. What's 3 times 4? 12. So now I have 12 times 7. What's 12 times 7? 84 cubic feet. Very good. Who got 84 cubic feet?
It's commutative because you can multiply any which way you want to that same answer.
Exactly. That is exactly right. And I could have used associative, and I kind of did when I put 3 times 4, and I could have put that in parentheses. So yes.
And then you could do times 7 at the end. And
Still get 84. That's exactly right. Good job. Okay. Do we have any questions on finding volume? Any questions on finding volume? What is my formula that I use?
volume equals length times width times height.
Length times width times height. You can always, when they show you the cubes, you can count those cubes, right? All right. So, and no matter what the unit is, it's always what? What do we always put on it?
We put length times
It's, who said it? Somebody said it. Cubic. Exactly right. All the units are cubic because how many things did we multiply to get the volume?
3.
3. So it's cubic. Remember that. 3 and 3, and that'll help you with your measurements. Okay. Go ahead. You have a page in your packet in the little flip book that we made on using the volume formula. I want you to go ahead and do that for me.